Welcome into the Week 6 recap. As always, let's get started with redraft. Left at Cheers 5-1 defeats the Stoners 3-3, 120.32 to 117.73. Left at Cheers eked out a nail-biter to stay atop the standings, surviving a furious rally from the Stoners in one of the tightest games of the season. Cam Skadby delivered the performance of the week, erupting for 31.46 points and single-handedly offsetting modest showings from the rest of the lineup. Christian McCaffrey and Tucker Kraft chipped in enough to push leftist Cheers past the century mark, and the defense sealed the win. For the Stoners, Drake May's breakout 29-point showing wasn't enough. Saquon Barkley and Amon St. Brown kept the team competitive, but Tua Tagovailoa's bad day and DK Metcalf's quiet outing proved costly. With the loss, the Stoners go down to 3-3 on the season and will be looking to stay in the playoff hunt going forward. Gumby Glizzy's 5-1 defeats Washington Rednecks 2-4, 105.21 to 94.63. It wasn't pretty, but Gumby Glizzy's ground out a win to move to 5-1 and keep pace near the top of the standings. Joe Flacco, yes, Joe Flacco, turned back the clock with 20 points, while Jared Goff added his usual steady hand. A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson did just enough to complement Travis Kelce's quiet day, and Denver's defense sealed the deal. For the Washington Rednecks, it was another week of almost. Jalen Hurts did his part with 22 points, and Jacoby Brissett surprisingly matched him, but the rest of the roster faltered. Alvin Kamara and Zach Charbonnet struggled to get anything going on the ground, and the midseason slide continues as the offense once again failed to hit triple digits. Bills Mafia 1-5 defeats the Red Carpets 3-3, 131.32 to 117.52. Bills Mafia finally broke through for their first win of the season, powered by a great outing from Patrick Mahomes, 33.7 points against Detroit, and Caleb Williams' dual threat brilliance. Jahmyr Gibbs and Breece Hall kept the chains moving, while Mark Andrews provided just enough at tight end to ice the victory. The long-awaited offensive explosion arrived, and Bills Mafia can exhale at last. The Red Carpets got another monster game from Devon Achane, who continues to look like an every-week cheat code, but the rest of the lineup sputtered. Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence both underwhelmed in losing efforts, and the flex spots failed to make an impact. A midseason gut check looms for a team that struggled to find balance after a hot start. No pun intended, 3-3 defeats Nico's League 1-5, 141.91 to 139.65. In the wildest finish of Week 6, this matchup came down to Monday Night Football, and two players on opposite sidelines. Nico's League leaned on Bijan Robinson, while no pun intended turned to Jaden Daniels, both looking for late-game heroics. Daniels delivered just enough through the air and on the ground to edge out Bijan's 32-point masterpiece, sealing the 2-point win and sending no pun intended back above 500. Nico's League got monster efforts from Robinson and Josh Jacobs, but Justin Fields' dud and quiet showing from Cortland Sutton proved costly. It's another heartbreaking loss for a squad that keeps finding new ways to fall just short. Scuba Delinquent 4-2 defeats Steel Curtain 3-3, 159.04 to 90.92. Scuba Delinquent dropped the hammer this week, erupting for 159 points in one of the most complete performances of the season. Rico Dowdle came out of nowhere to post a career day with 33.9 points, while DeAndre Swift looked explosive again as the Bears leaned on him late in the game. Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert combined for over 40, and the Raiders' defense punctuated the blowout with a huge showing against Tennessee. Steel Curtain, meanwhile, couldn't get anything going. Dak Prescott was sharp but unsupported, as Stephon Diggs and Deebo Samuel both disappointed in ugly offensive showings. Derrick Henry's quiet day and the Eagles' negative defensive output sealed the route in forgettable week for the Steel Curtain. Alright, let's get into the Week 7 redraft power rankings, starting at the bottom. At number 10, not moving, Bills Mafia. At number 9, moving down 2 spots, Washington Rednecks. At number 8, staying put, Scuba Delinquent. At number 7, moving up 2 spots, Steel Curtain. At number 6, staying put, the Stoners. At number 5, staying put, no pun intended. At number 4, not moving, Nico's League. At number 3, not moving, the Red Carpets. At number 2, staying put, Gumby Glizzies. And remaining in the number 1 spot is Leftist Cheers. Our Week 7 redraft game of the week is the Red Carpets 3-3 versus Leftist Cheers 5-1. The Red Carpets being without Josh Allen and Leftist Cheers being without James Cook and Zay Flowers will test both of these squads as they reach into their depth pool. With the playoff race heating up, this one could prove costly for the losing team. Alright, let's get right into Dynasty. Prestige Worldwide 1-5 defeats the Scoob Empire 1-5, 112.48 to 86.34. Prestige Worldwide finally hits the win column, and they did it convincingly. Jacoby Brissett turned back the clock with 23 points in a losing effort for Arizona, while Sam Laporta and Wan'Dale Robinson provided steady production in the middle of the lineup.
Dak Prescott's efficient outing in Carolina sealed the team's first victory of the season, a much-needed morale boost after a brutal start. For the Scuba Empire, it was another week of missed opportunities. Bryce Young was sharp, but Saquon Barkley struggled, and a quiet day from Marvin Harrison Jr. left the team unable to keep pace. Caleb Williams' late push wasn't enough to save an offense that continues to lack consistency from its playmakers. Stratton Oakmont Inc. 6-0 defeats Cumber Dynasty 5-1, 159.22 to 112.48. In the battle of unbeatens, Stratton Oakmont Inc. proved once again why they're the class of the league. The squad poured in 159 points, with Jalen Hurts and Jamar Chase leading the charge, and Drake London exploding for a season-high 26.4. Even role players like Kendrick Bourne chipped in with double digits, showcasing just how deep this team is. Cumber Dynasty, meanwhile, took their first loss of the season despite another monstrous effort from Bijan Robinson, who carried the offense with 32.1 points. Josh Allen and Trey McBride did their part, but disappointing outings from Garrett Wilson and Javonte Williams doomed any hopes of keeping pace. Stratton Oakmont stays perfect at 6-0, solidifying themselves as the team to beat. I Am They 3-3 defeats Touchdown My Pants 2-4, 92.92 to 81.36. In a low-scoring slugfest, I Am They managed to grind out a much-needed win behind steady performances across the board. Bo Nix did just enough, while Michael Pittman Jr. delivered his best outing of the season to push the team back to 500. Tyler Warren and T. Higgins also chipped in key scores, helping I Am They weather a quiet day from Keenan Allen. Touchdown My Pants, meanwhile, couldn't overcome an offense stuck in neutral. Matthew Stafford and Travis Etienne both struggled to find rhythm, and Stephon Diggs' modest night left the lineup without a spark. Despite a solid showing from Rachaad White, the team's 81 points marked a low total, leaving them searching for answers heading into Week 7. Nico's Dream Team 4-2 defeats Gump Dynasty 3-3, 145.16 to 136.86. In one of the week's most entertaining duels, Nico's Dream Team held off a furious push from Gump Dynasty to move to 4-2. Jaden Daniels and Jonathan Taylor formed a dynamic 1-2 punch, combining for 45 points, while Jackson Smith and Jigba delivered his breakout game with 26.2. Jared Goff's steady hands sealed the victory, pushing Nico's squad back into the thick of the playoff race. For Gump Dynasty, it was a tough loss despite strong efforts from Justin Herbert and DK Metcalf. A.J. Brown was bottled up, and the running back tandem of Derrick Henry and J.K. Dobbins couldn't generate their usual efficiency. With the loss, Gump falls back to 500 and will be looking to tighten things up before facing another top-tier opponent next week. Sneezy Raccoon 74 4-2 defeats Bales on Your Chin 1-5, 109.5 to 73.52. Sneezy Raccoon 74 cruised to their fourth win of the year behind a vintage Patrick Mahomes performance. The Kansas City quarterback scored 33.7 points on his way to a win against Detroit, single-handedly outscoring all the rest of the players in the matchup. That McConkey's emergence continued with a strong 18.6, and Trevor Lawrence studied the lineup late to seal the win. Bales on Your Chin, meanwhile, couldn't get anything going despite decent showings from Michael Penix Jr. and Ted McMillan. Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel were both bottled up, and the running backs combined for under 10 points. With another sluggish outing, the team slips to 1-5 and will need a spark soon to keep playoff hopes alive. We go into the Week 7 Dynasty Power Rankings, starting at the bottom at number 10, not moving, Bales on Your Chin. At number 9, staying put, Prestige Worldwide. At number 8, moving down one spot, Touchdown My Pants. At number 7, moving up one spot, The Scoop Empire. At number 6, staying put, I Am They. At number 5, staying put, Sneezy Raccoon 74. At number 4, not moving, Nico's Dream Team. At number 3, moving down one spot, Gump Dynasty. At number 2, moving down one spot, Gump Dynasty. And at number 1, moving up 2 spots to claim the number 1 spot for the first time this season, is Stratton Oakmont Inc. Our Week 7 Dynasty game of the week is Stratton Oakmont Inc. 6-0 versus Gump Dynasty 3-3. This heavyweight battle will showcase the league's last remaining undefeated team against a perennial powerhouse. We have the potential for fireworks here as we get into the weeds of the latter half of the regular season. That'll do it for the Week 6 recap. Excited to see everyone in Week 7.